Okay, so this is going to be an instructional slash overview video of this brand new 26 model Burstner B66 644 TD. First of all, we're going to go around the external of the motorhome and then we will go into the habitation area. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to open the bonnet. Two reasons for this. One is just obviously so you know how to open the bonnet, and then two, I'm going to show you where the terminal points are in case you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. So to open the bonnet you need to come around to the passenger door, and then if you open the passenger door you'll see at the side of the dash there's a bonnet release catch there. All you need to do, pull that down once and that will then release. Also, while we are in the cab area, we have got blackout blinds on the front windscreen. All you need to do is a little tab here, just pinch this tab and then they will slide, join and meet in the middle and join together with a magnetic strip. Also, the driver and passenger door have blackout blinds, and all you need to do is this tab, just follow the guide all the way to the top, and then there is a little holder at the top there like so, and then obviously when you need to put the blinds back just do it in reverse, follow the guide back down, and it is as easy as that. Also, underneath the passenger seat, this is where you will find your 12-volt fuse system. So under here is all your 12-volt fuses, so if one of the 12-volt fuses blows, this is where you need to come and check. So obviously the 12-volt system runs off your leisure battery, so it could be the lights that has tripped, it could be the USB chargers, so yeah, all your 12-volt fuses are underneath the passenger seat. And under the driver's seat there is your lithium leisure battery, because on the B66 range, on the TD line range, it comes with lithium battery now. So as you can see, I've now got access to the bonnet area. Like I said, the main reason is in case you need to jump start the vehicle. So your negative terminal point is just on this nipple here, so that's going to be your negative terminal point. And then your positive is just down here. There is a cap down here that lifts up, and that is where your positive terminal point is. Also under here we have obviously your screen wash fill, which is in front of the driver. So now we are going to carry around the external of the motorhome. As you can see, this vehicle does come with an external awning. You'll get a separate link on the email how to set up and use the awning. So we will carry on around on the passenger side. So the first compartment we actually come to is going to be your diesel fill and AdBlue fill. So in your diesel fill you just need to use your vehicle blade key, that will give you access to that, and then your AdBlue is just a screw cap. Here we have your toilet cassette. So as you can see, we've got access to the toilet cassette. So if we want to take the cassette out to empty or clean, what we need to do is this orange tab here, lift it up and then slide the cassette towards you. That will then release the cassette. And then if we want to empty or clean this, if we want to empty it, this orange nozzle on the left, twist it out to the left. If you take this grey cap off and then tilt up the cassette, all your fluids will flow out. If you want the fluids to flow out a lot faster and not gurgle at you and splatter you, if you put your thumb on the button at the top, hold the button down while you're pouring, basically that lets air into the top of the cassette so the vacuum releases. Other than that, if you want to clean internally as well with a hose pipe, you can open the cassette blade like so, and then obviously you can clean internally with an hose pipe. Also you can throw your chemical in there before you put it back in, or your Thetford sachets as well. And then to put it back in place, all you need to do is align it and then slide it back. And then the main thing here, we want to make sure that this orange tab is down secure here, so when in transit it's not going to move in or out ever so slightly, but this door does hold it back in as well. Here we have your gas locker. So inside here you can fit 2 tanks. You can fit 2 11 kg tanks. Because this is a brand new motorhome, it does come with an LPG hose. So yeah, like I say, you can fit 2 tanks in here. Obviously the max is up to 11 kg, but if you want to get smaller ones you can do that. And then obviously that just connects onto the gas regulator at the top. So you've got a 1/2 inch stud at the top, that will connect on with a hose and then onto the tank. Directly below the gas locker we have your grey waste, and then all you need is this little grey handle, and basically it goes on that bar there. You twist the bar like so, 45 degrees, and basically your grey waste will empty out of that hole there. Once it's drained, obviously you drain this over a grid. Once it's drained, just shut it if you are still using the motorhome, or if you're travelling home, leave it open so just any excess content in there will naturally drain out in movement. Like I say, it's not sewage, that is just grey waste that has gone down your sink and your kitchen or your basin. Here we have an external shower point. So you'll come with your motorhome will come with a little set of keys, and basically on the right hand side that is your tap for hot and cold. Obviously the hot will only work when you have got boiled water in the Troom system. This is the little switch to switch on the pump, but you do have to turn on your control panel and switch on the pump internally first. But basically this just triggers another pump to pump the water externally. One thing to keep in mind, there is no on and off as in indication, so you could potentially leave this switch on by accident, and when you turn on the pump in the habitation, water could be pumping out of here, and then if your water level's going down quite fast, usually it's because this has been left on by accident. And then here is your quick release connection for your external shower. Basically you plug it in there and then it's a quick release. But like I said, the biggest thing is making sure that switch is on, is off when not in use. Here we have your external boiler flue. So this is for your Troomer system. When you are burning on gas, this is where the fumes do exhaust from. Keep this clear at all times. Also it does get quite hot as well. And then the last part on the passenger side is we have access to the garage as well. So you've got a decent sized garage in here. Currently we've got the habitation carpets. We've got the dinette to berth package on this as well. Also it is heated in here, so you can see there's a little heat duct. There's 2 in here, so the garage is heated at all times, as long as you've got them heating ducts open. All the lockers, if you want to shut them, what you need to do is twist this lever, twist this, and that will close it too. If you want to physically lock these lockers, how to do that is by getting your habitation key, putting your key in, 180 turn, push it in. So when they are permanently in like that, that means it's fully locked. If they're stuck out like so, that means it's unlocked still and people can get in. So now we are on the driver's side of the habitation. The first locker we come to again is going to be your garage. As you can see here, we've got your awning winder clipped up there. You can see we've got a rail which is on each side, and these eye hooks. All you need to do is undo this and you can slide them along, tighten them back up, And basically they're just tie down points, so if you've got any bikes in here or anything you want to tie down, you can tie them down. There's some rails on each side. There is a 3-pin socket in here, so the 3-pin socket will only work when you're connected to mains hookup. And then also we do have your garage light. Always turn the garage light off when you're not using it, otherwise when you turn the 12-volt system on and the garage light is left on, it will just stay on, and you could potentially obviously you'll drain your leisure battery a lot faster because this is always on. And sometimes when these are left on for so long because of the heat, these usually start to get a black mark in it just because of the heat, because it's been on for hours and hours and hours. So yeah, when you're not using this, always turn that off. Here we have your fresh water fill. So to fill up the fresh water, you do need to use your habitation key, and basically take this cap off, put the hose pipe in, and when the water starts to come back out of here, or you see water coming underneath the van on the overflow pipe, that means it's full. Before you do obviously fill up, you do need to close the freshwater tank valve, which is internal, which we'll get to. Here we have your external barbecue point. So on here, to use this, obviously you've got a tap again on here, but you do need to turn obviously the gas on at the LPG tanks. So turn the gas on, turn this tap on, obviously you connect onto the end here. There's a quick release connection which goes on there, and then that goes to your appliance, i.e. a barbecue. As you can see, we are currently connected to mains hookup, so this is where you plug in when you're at campsite, or if you're obviously giving yourself basically 230 volt power. So this is going to charge up your leisure battery. It's going to give your sockets, your 3-pin sockets, 230 volt power, and then obviously trickle your leisure battery by topping it up. Here we have external socket. So here, all you need to do is get a European adapter. So this is because obviously built in Germany. This is a true prong, so you just need to get an adapter, and then obviously to convert it to 3-pin socket outside if you are wanting power outside. Again, this will only work when you are connected to mains hookup. On the right, you have got a micro 12 volt socket. That will only work on your leisure battery. And then we do have an external aerial feed, so you can obviously put a TV outside as well. Just so you know, that aerial feed is not physically connected up to anything when it's brand new. You do have to get a third-party product, third-party aerial to put on the roof. They just pre-wire the aerial in the motorhome when they are building it, because it's a lot easier to run the cables while it's in production. So now we are going to go into the habitation area. As you can see, we have got an electric fold out step, and that is controlled just in the entrance on this button here. We have got a fly screen. One thing to keep in mind with the fly screen is if it's windy, put the fly screen away, because if the wind gets hold of this door, you could potentially punch through the fly screen and derail it. So as you can see, we are now in the habitation area. So when you do come in the door, here we've got a few buttons. As again, that's for your electric step. This one is for your external awning light. This one be for the porch welcome light, and then these will be for the rest of the habitation. In here we have a bit of storage. We've got 2 USB points there, so that runs off your 12 volt system. Got a nice cabinet here which can hold your glasses, and then above that we have your 12 volt system, your control panel for the habitation. So the top left, you press and hold, and as you can see, it will give you an indication here of your leisure battery. How I know that is because of the symbol up here. it shows the rear of the van. So press and hold will give you your leisure battery level. In the middle on the left, that is your power on and off for the 12 volt system. As you can see, I've got this on. So that is turning on all the 12 volt system, turning on the lights and stuff like that if you want to turn them on with the switch. And then bottom left, you press and hold, and that will give you your vehicle battery level. As you can see, it's showing the cab and the battery at the front, so I know that's the vehicle battery. On the right hand side at the top, press and hold, that will give you your fresh water level on this side. That will light up blue. Currently, obviously, we are empty, so there is no level. In the middle on the right, that's your water pump. As you can see here, it gives you an indication that it's on. Only turn this water pump on if you've got water in your system. If you turn it on and the tap is open ever so slightly, the taps have got a micro switch in them. So if they're open ever so slightly, that pump will run. And if you've no water in the system, you don't want that pump to run because you will potentially burn out the motor. The bottom right is your grey waste. Press and hold again, and that will give you an indication on the right hand side in red. How I know that's the grey waste is because there's a nozzle at the bottom on the image there. That means it's draining out. And then at the top on the fresh water, there's obviously it's open at the top, so that means water can pour in. So again, press and hold, it will give you an indication on this side of your grey waste. Here we have a Truma system in this, so this is for your heating and hot water. On the email, you will get sent a separate link just on this control panel, how it works. So what we're going to do is start off at the front. Also, I've just noticed I missed the important part. We've got a nice wine rack or cordial rack, depending which one you are. So yeah, we're going to start off at the front. So we have got a partition here from the cab, which is a great idea, great feature. So obviously you've got your driver and passenger seat in here. They do swivel. They are on swivel seats, so you can swivel one if someone wants to sit here and look in. But this partition is a great feature. I've currently got the heating on in the habitation, and I've just opened this and I can feel the cold chill in this area. To my right, we have got shower cubicle. So in transit, you might want to put the shower doors locked into place so they're not flapping around. We have got your shower head, and then your controls there, hot and cold. Again, obviously the hot will only work when you are connected. When you have heated that hot water up. And then the great feature, so obviously we've got the partition from the cab there, and then now the toilet door is actually created another partition. So in effect we have got like an ensuite, nice changing room, nice head height as well. So you've got towel rack up there. Obviously you've got your toilet here. If you want to use your toilet, how to do this is just use this blade here. So basically slide the blade across, that will open the toilet cassette. So then obviously all the fluids goes in the container. After use, make sure you shut this blade just to save any smells coming back up. Here we have your toilet flush. So the blue button, you press it and that will use some fresh water from the fresh water tank to swill out the bowl. You do need your pump, your 12 volt system on. You need your pump on for this because the pump is obviously pumping the water. To the left hand side, there's a symbol that looks like a toilet cassette, and that will light up orange/red when the toilet cassette is full. Soon as this light comes on, most of the time it means the toilet cassette is actually full. We have got light switches underneath this cabinet here, and then we have got a 3-pin socket as well. We've got your basin tap, hot and cold again, some storage under here. Also we've got toilet roll holder as well, which can then obviously slide out here. So you've got a nice bit of space in here. And now we are going to carry on around the habitation. So we'll start on the kitchen side. So got storage here, 3-pin socket, and then we've got some spare blanking plates here, and then we got hanging wardrobe space here. Got a 3-ring gas burner. If you want to use the igniter, your 12-volt system needs to be on because that uses off the 12-volt circuit. But yeah, we've got a 3-ring burner. One safety advice we recommend is this glass cover here is to keep the glass cover up after use, just to let the stove cool down. If there's, because say if you've got the window open, because the cold air could be hitting the glass, because of the temperature difference, you could potentially shatter the cover. So yeah, always keep this up after use. We've got a oven and grill here, and then a heat plate what can slide in and out just to protect the knobs there. We've got a 12-volt rail up here, so you can buy extra of these from Burstner. But basically these are on a 12-volt system on the rail, and you can move these around as well, which are nice, great feature. And then also on this one we have got a 12-volt USB socket, so we can move this 12-volt USB socket around. There's a rail above the kitchen, and there is a rail at the back as well up there. In this cupboard here we have your Wi-Fi. So now on the B66 TD range, it comes with Wi-Fi built in, so that is where your box is there. More storage on that side, and then we've got storage lower down here, a little bit in there, nice large drawer, cutlery drawer as well, and then at the top we have 2 internal gas valves. So what this is for is if one of the appliances goes faulty, so i.e. if your stove goes faulty, you can turn this gas off and then obviously use the gas on the other appliances. Currently they are in the open position, so you do not need to touch these, but it's just a little feature. Instead of having all the gas off because one appliance has gone faulty, you can isolate the appliance. And then we have got your kitchen sink. So what we're going to do now, we're going to prime the system dry. So I'm going to explain this. So basically what we need to do first is shut all the drain valves in the motorhome. I've currently not got to 2 of the valves, which are on this bench seat here, which is your boiler valve, and then there's a valve for the pipe work. So what we need to do is shut all the drain valves. So the first one we need to shut is grey waste. The next one is your fresh water, which the fresh water is underneath here. So we need to shut grey waste, fresh water. Then we need to shut the frost protect valve, which is next to the boiler down here, and then there is a yellow valve which is down there for the pipe work. So we need to shut 4 valves to fill up the system. Once we've shut all the drain valves, we'll fill up the fresh water tank completely full, external. Once that is full, what we'll do then is come to our control panel up here, turn on the 12-volt system and turn on the pump. Once you turn on that pump, if we twist the tap to the cold side, open the tap, basically what will happen is it will start pumping water from the fresh water tank through the pipe work, and then when you get a steady flow, it pumps all the air out. When you get a steady flow on the cold side, you can shut the tap. Now what we're going to do is twist the tap to the hot side, and we're going to fill up our boiler. So basically we open the tap, it's going to vent out any air, it's going to take water now from the fresh water tank into your boiler. Your boiler holds 10 to 12 litres of your fresh water, and then from your boiler comes through your tap at a steady flow. Once you get a steady flow on hot and cold, you can shut the taps. That means your system is ready to use when you need. The only thing you do need to do is heat up that hot water. You need to boil it on the Truma control panel. One thing I did notice on the control panel which I forgot to highlight is, as you can see in the middle here, there is an indication, a light, with like a little plug in it. Basically, that is indicating that I am connected to mains hookup. As you've seen outside, I am plugged in, so I've got power. So if you plug in at campsite and this light doesn't light up, there is a fault somewhere. Most of the time, it's the campsite post that is tripped because they reduce the power they give you. But yeah, if the light doesn't light up, there's a fault. Check the campsite post, change the socket on the campsite. It could be a faulty cable, or it could be something in the motorhome. There is a 230 volt breaker which is under this bench seat, which we'll get to, because what I'm going to do in a moment is I will remove all the cushions so we can get to them components. So the last thing in the kitchen area, we have got your fridge freezer. So you've got a large fridge, probably one of the largest in a motorhome, and then you've got your pull out freezer drawer lower down, and this is a compressor fridge. How this works, it runs off your leisure battery. The power button here, press and hold, and then it will light up. In the middle is your temperature, so the lower it is, the warmer it gets, and then if you want to get it colder, the higher the chart, that means it will get colder. So that is your fridge temperature on the left hand side. On the right hand side is your freezer, so you can obviously, again, the more colours there are, the colder it gets. And how I'm changing this temperature is I touch it, press and hold, it will flash, like so, and then I can now select the desired temperature. You can also turn that off. No, you can't, sorry. The freezer is low or high. You have got night mode on the right hand side. So this night mode, it saves its thing faster than I can keep doing it. So there you go. I'll turn the night mode on. So anything in blue is on, basically. So night mode, what night mode does, it runs the RPM speed of the fan a bit lower, so it's a bit quieter at night. So one thing I would do on the compressor fridge, say if we're going to go on our journey now, turn on the fridge, I'd turn it up all full. And I wouldn't put it on night mode as well. So yeah, I turn the fridge on, get everything on full, fridge and freezer. Just to get that fridge cooled down a lot faster, and then basically leave this on. Once you've got your food in there, which is cold already, that will help chill it faster as well. And then when you are driving, basically your alternator split charges, it will charge up your engine battery first and then charge your leisure battery. Like I said, this is a compressor fridge, so it is taken from your leisure battery. So, but once this is cooled down, basically you can turn the temperature down on here and it will maintain a cool fridge. Obviously depending where you go, if you're going somewhere really hot, then you might need to leave that fridge higher. But yeah, that is running off your leisure battery. When you're driving, obviously your engine is split charging and charging up that leisure battery. Above that we have your TV bracket. So this is on a swivel bracket, so it can go in and or out. And then we've got 3-pin socket up there and 12 volt as well. And then this cable here, just so you know, it is a data cable that is ran in the motorhome to the Wi-Fi box as well. So you could in effect put the data port into a smart TV. Another 3-pin socket here, decent size worktop space. And then here we have your bed controls. So this drop down bed, you need to turn the safety key on, and then all you need to do is press this button and the bed will come down like so. You'll have a bed ladder as well that hooks on here, so if you are doing down it to berth, you will be gauged by that bed ladder. If you want to bring this bed a bit lower, you can remove all the back cushions and it will come lower down. But the great feature about this bed is you can sleep traverse, or if you bring it all the way down after just folding some of the back cushions down, you'll see there's a mattress at the back. And how that works is the drop down bed meets that mattress, so it aligns, so then you can sleep longitude as well. So that's a great feature, because basically if you sleep in traverse, one of you have to climb over each other if you want to get down and go to the toilet through the night. But if you sleep longitude, basically you're not disturbing each other as much, because you can just crawl out one way. So before I remove all the cushions to show you the components under there, on your drop down bed we have this little device, and this device fits into this hole here, and behind this cover there is a bed motor, and basically you put the hex onto the nut, and basically you can wind down this drop down bed or wind it back up. The reason you would need to do this is, one, the first one, you've no physical power, as in your leisure batteries ran out. The most common one is the 12-volt system. The fuse is blown on the drop down bed. That is the most common one, and the reason for that is a lot of people do leave the cushions up there. You can leave your blanket, but we always recommend to take your cushions off. Basically, because the cushions are thick, when the bed's trying to go back up, it meets a contact sensor to stop the bed. And if that bed can't go all the way up because of friction, because of the cushion, basically it will overload and then blow the fuse. That's the most common one. But that little device, little tool, is just to help you get the bed up or down, worst case scenario. At the rear we have storage on each side. So you've got storage in this cupboard here, same on the other side. Again, 12-volt rail, light switches, we've got 3-pin socket on each side, and then underneath this mattress here we have storage as well, and as you can see the bed ladder is in here at the moment, and 2 headrests. These headrests go onto the back here, because this is a 4-berth, 4-travel motorhome. So these 2 here are the rear travel seats. So whoever's actually travelling in the rear is travelling in luxury, because they've got all this space to relax, and a nice large table as well. So what I'm going to do now is remove these cushions, and I'll show you all the components underneath there. Also, like I said, this is a 4-berth, so this table drops down, fills in that gap at the bottom, and then the cushions you've seen in the garage convert this into another double bed. So now I'm going to remove the cushions just so you can see the components underneath. So as you can see, I've now removed the cushions to give us access. So we're going to start on the boiler first. So currently, as you can see here, we have got some storage down here as well, but this is where your boiler is. And you'll only need to come down here for these 2 valves. So there's 2 valves here. The yellow one is draining any excess water in the pipework, and then the black valve with the blue handle on top, that is draining the water content from your boiler. So the first one we're going to start with is the yellow one, which is the easiest. So currently that is in its vertical position, so that means it's open, so the water will drain out of the pipework underneath. What we need to do if we want to fill up the motorhome, we need to shut this, and how we do this is knock it down like so. So when it's in its horizontal position, that means it's closed, so when you are filling up the system, that is not going to open. That is not going to drain any water out of the system underneath. The next one is your frost protect valve. The frost protect valve, how that works, it's called a frost protect valve because basically if it detects it's cold in the motorhome, so if it's 6 degrees or less, basically it will automatically open. This is to protect your boiler. So this valve, basically, if you fill the boiler up and you forget about it, about draining it, if this detects it 6 degrees or less, it will trigger, drain all the water out of the boiler, because your boiler is obviously the expensive part. So if the water stayed in there and froze, then obviously it could potentially expand and split the cylinder. So this is a little device is just protecting that. So currently this frost protect valve is in its open position. How I know this is the blue handle, the blue valve is in line with the valve, and at the back side there is a little blue button, and the blue button is stuck out. If I try pushing this blue button in, it doesn't stay in. It's hard to show you because you can't see the button, but basically the button is staying out because the valve is open, because this is the master control. If we want to close this, what we need to do, twist the diamond valve on top like so, and then we need to push the blue button in. Push it in and it stays in. So now that blue frost protect valve is closed. So but when we are priming our motorhome with water, so when we're filling this Truma boiler up with water, the water is not going to drain out of the motorhome. So if we want to manually drain this, because we're taking it home, we're not using it now, how we do this, first of all you need to do, twist this blue lever handle on top, back in line, the blue button, you'll feel it down here, the blue button pops out, so that is draining all the water out of the boiler. The next one is your yellow valve, lift it up, and that will drain any water in the excess pipework out. So that is how you open and close them two valves to one, fill up the boiler or empty the boiler, and then obviously fill up the pipework or empty the pipework. Next, under this bench seat, we have got your freshwater tank, and then down here, this is your 230 volt mains breaker. So this is where you need to come to have a look if anything is tripped on the 230 volt side. So this could be on your sockets. So like I said, when you plug in at campsite, it could be the main breaker itself, but when you plug in at campsite, if there's no light indicator on that control panel, this is where you may need to check as well. Here we have your freshwater tank. You can open this red cover here to clean internally if needed. Also, you could fill up in here as well if you can't fill up externally. If we want to close this tank because we want to fill it up, this black knob here is what we need to use to fill up the tank. So you can fill this up to 110 litres, and all you need to do is twist this knob to the left, and then it will get tight, and that will close the valve completely. If we want to drain this drain the fresh water tank, we can travel with 20 litres in this, and how we do this is when the valve is completely closed, we fill up the fresh water tank to a rough gauge, or if it's already full. And if we want to drain this down to a rough gauge of 20 litres, how we do this is on the black valve, twist it a quarter turn, and basically that lifts up the valve ever so slightly. It will drain from 110 litres to a rough gauge of 20 litres. If you physically want to empty the fresh water tank completely empty, all you need to do is 2 full 360 turns to the right, and that will open the valve and drain all the water contents out of the fresh water tank. So 2 full turns to the right, 360, that will open the fresh water tank. 2 full turns to the left, and that will close the fresh water tank. And then again, a quarter turn to the right, that will open it a little bit just to drain the water to 20 litres. And if you are wanting to convert the diner area into diner to berth, all you need to do is lower this table like so, get the infill cushions from the garage, put them in place, or you could use the rear cushions as well, and then obviously that will make up your double traverse bed. And how this table works, it's on a gas strut, and basically you manually do it. So now if I want it in its toe position, I lift this table all the way up and then push down onto it and it will lock into place. If I want to lower this table, all I need to do, lift the table up slightly and then push it down and it releases the mechanism. So that is the instructional / overview video complete of this brand new 26 model Burstner B66 644 TD. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below, or you can always drop us an email or give us a call. And also we do have more of these available.